It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
And welcome back to Trading Stocks Made Easy. It is Tyrone Jackson. Hey, today I have a question for you. And that question, well, I've asked it over the past couple of years, but now I'm going to ask you the same question I always ask you. Are you prepared for success? Do you want to be financially successful? Do you want financial freedom? And do you want it to come from the stock market? I hope the answer is yes, because today's show is all about how technology has changed and how things have changed on Wall Street. So you and I have terrific, enormous opportunities that we didn't have even 25 years ago. Now, anything that you're going to do that's somewhat entrepreneurial in nature, you're not going to find success right away, right? So if you started a house cleaning service, it's going to take a little while before you get clients, right? If you started a software business, unless you come from a software company that's already established, it may be difficult for you to find new clients. So part of success comes from being ushered in from an initial destination into the second destination. In other words, since you've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy show, a lot of you tell me when you meet me in person, I've listened to every single episode, and boy, do I appreciate that. When you're listening to these episodes, you may not understand what every guest has to say or how in and out of the money covered calls work, but guess what? It's a launching pad for you to think differently and on a weekly basis to check in to make sure that your mindset is still in tune with that which you say that you want. So anything you start initially, you're probably not going to have the greatest results at. Why? In the case of the stock market, all wealth is taught. That means that you have to learn the money language, the language of trading. You have to learn what an online trading account is, how to work with a broker. So let me tell you some of the fantastic things that are present right now that allow you to stick your toe into the trading water and be successful over time. Now, I'm going to take you back 25 years ago. 25 years ago, the internet, or World Wide Web as I remember, wasn't really around in full bloom, in bits and pieces. Now, before the internet, did you know to have access to Wall Street, you had to have the name of an individual broker who could execute trades on your behalf? That broker would take your order over the phone, and then you'd have to pay the brokerage firm a commission. Now, this is how Wall Street has really, really changed in the past 25, 50 years, right? In order for you to even open up a brokerage account, you had to have a minimum of $50,000. Today, you can open up an online trading account with as little as $500. Why is it you had to have $50,000 minimum, or else a firm would never even take your name, phone number, or call you back? Because when you had to call in a broker, that person was paid a commission to take your order, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 5%. So when you went to buy stock, you gave up 2 to 5% of the purchase just in commission alone. Did you know that? Today, there are hundreds of online brokerage trading firms where you can buy and sell stock for free. So in the broker world, let me give you a little bit of history. In the broker world, we have something called full service, and that's usually people who have $1 million or more, and they want to be able to get advice from a brokerage firms about what to buy, sell, or hold. Someone on Wall Street realized, hey, if we can cut those fees a little bit, we would have something called a discount brokerage house where a person who had $50,000 could actually go. They're going to do all the research on the stock, and we'll just hire someone to execute their trades. No advice given. And today we have deep discount firms where you don't even talk to a broker. It's all done through automation. No matter what era you're in, no matter what model you're using, brokers and brokerage firms have always made massive amounts of money in commission for their clients, whether stocks went up, went down, or stayed the same. The big change now is that we have firms like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, where they say, hey, we act like a big brokerage firm, but if you're trading stocks individually online, you don't owe us any commission, right? Okay, so you and I should be excited. Why? Because we have access to Wall Street like we've never had it before, and we pay a fraction of the fees, if at all, for buying and selling stocks online. So that means that Wall Street is now open to you in a way that it's never been open before. So if you have the mindset for success, can you now open a brokerage account for $500? Well, I just went through that. The answer is yes. But if your goals were to be a stock market millionaire, what are your next 5 steps? Well, a lot of people think I'll open an online trading account and I'll just use that seed money and I will be rich. No. Self-made millionaires are always adding money to their accounts so they have more shares to buy. On Wall Street, part of success is your lot sizes. So we can all buy 1 or 2 shares, let's say, of Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. We can all buy more shares of IBM or Coca-Cola or McDonald's or Visa and MasterCard as long as we're always feeding our trading account. Now, a lot of people who get started are super excited, but they don't realize that investing is a process, and you always want to put yourself on a payment schedule. So let me talk about this in terms of the mindset for success and changes on Wall Street. If you no longer need $50,000 to start, starting is not really the issue now because everybody listening to this show right now has at least access to $1,000. The key to being successful on Wall Street, if you're starting with less than $50,000, is how much money you're going to put in or deposit into your account every single month. I remember about 10 years ago, I had a student of mine whose father was a self-made multimillionaire from stocks. Do you know what he did for a living? He was a shoe shine guy. But what this shoe shine guy did was every single week, without fail, after he paid his taxes, he would put something away for investing. And he would buy stocks that were only in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Listen to how smart this gentleman was. When he was buying Dow stocks, he bought the stocks not so they would rise by next Tuesday, for their future value 5 years from now. So that means he was able to buy shares in companies like Coca-Cola and McDonald's, some while the share price was low, some while they were higher. We call that dollar cost averaging into stocks. Because he did it for a 10-year period and he became a very good stock picker, at the end of 10 years, he had a 7-figure portfolio. Why? As I always say, success is nothing but a series of positive habits. He got in the habit of putting money away every single week. Now, he didn't have the technology that we have today, like Yahoo Finance, which, by the way, I recommend as the #1 research stock market site on the internet, period. The graphics are there, the images are there, everything is spelled out in very simple language. I love Yahoo Finance, so please go there and do all of your research. It's absolutely fabulous. This gentleman, the shoe shine guy, actually did what? He had to follow his stocks in the newspaper. Now, for those of you who remember what newspapers are, in the back of almost every daily newspaper are stock tickers. There used to be a section called Wall Street, and you would go, and if you were buying IBM stock, you'd look in the stock section, and you see if your shares were up that day or the prior day, and you had to track that pattern by hand. Could you imagine how hard it is? You started buying IBM at $99. First of all, by the time you get the information in the newspaper, it's old news because that was yesterday's closing price. But if you were committed and dedicated, that was the only place you could actually track the stock price was in your local newspaper. Today, every internet site that is credible that carries the stock market has a feed into that site that allows you to track your favorite stocks. So you see, sometimes you don't know how good you have it until what? Someone explains to you what was happening historically on Wall Street. You don't have to wait for the newspaper to come out the following day to see how well your stock did. You could almost watch it in real time certainly inside your TD Ameritrade account or with a 20-minute delay on Yahoo Finance. You are fortunate. You are born in the right place at the right time to have access to Wall Street. Now, if you've ever seen a movie like Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, if you remember, several times in that film, they were down on the trading floor. We call this the open outcry system, where brokers used to buy large lots of shares in seconds. So what used to happen on the trading floor was the traders who were on the trading floor were normally big, tall, and brawny. Why? They had great voices. So when they wanted more shares of IBM, they would scream out, 1 million shares of IBM right here, right here. Another broker would go, sold. And they would have these trading tickets, and those trades would be reconciled at the end of the day. Well, guess what? We have very few trading floors right now because Wall Street is largely run by software. That's right. So therefore, you don't need those big screaming guys on the trading floor. And Wall Street converted to software. Why? Because it would save them hundreds of millions of dollars in commissions and salary. Now, as a result of software doing most of the work on Wall Street, guess what happens when you and I are buying and selling stocks? Are there human beings executing those trades? No, it's software. All of that buying and selling in this automated fashion has caused what? A lot of volatility. Well, if you've been listening to Trading Stocks Made Easy for more than a year, you know that volatility causes call option premiums to rise, and that's how you and I get paid. So whether you realize it or not, for many of you who are actively trading, the money that you're making, a lot of it is coming from volatility caused by automation. You see, when covered calls were created about 35 years ago, they only expired on the third Friday of every month. So you'd buy the stock, sell the call, and you'd have to wait till the third Friday of every month and see what call options actually expired. Today, there are weekly call options. You can buy the stock on Monday, sell the call on Friday, and if you're called out, you'd have the capital gains plus the premium. Well, guess what's happening now? There are discussions underway so that covered calls will be daily. All of this daily volume is going to cause call premiums to rise, and for traders like you and I, that means more and more income opportunities. So Wall Street has really changed. Less people on an open outcry floor trading system and more automated. The more automated, the more Wall Street saves. That's why some of the trades on your stocks are commission-free. There's less people to pay, greater profit margins, and more opportunity for you and I. Back in a moment.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
That's right. It's all about getting that financial education. Make sure you go over to thewealthyinvestor.net and download my absolutely free ebook. We've just updated with some of my favorite stock picks for the next year. It's absolutely free. Please go get it right now. Now, today's show, we're talking about all these changes that have gone on Wall Street that are opportunities for you and I. If we have the right mindset for success, we understand that everything we do that is new as a trader might not be 100% profitable. That's good. That means that you're learning. How many things do you do and master the very first time you try something? For most people, it just doesn't work that way. But if you stay in there through up markets and down markets, good trades and bad trades, you learn how to be successful. Wall Street knows that. Wall Street is always looking to cut costs and increase profits. That's why they did away with the open outcry system. But we know that we are moving towards covered calls being daily. Are you prepared? Well, this is interesting. If there is no more open outcry system, you're trading against software called algorithms. Now, let me try to explain this. I've explained it before, but one more time won't hurt. An algorithm is a software program that buys and sells stocks under a complex series of if-then scenarios. So if the market as a whole drops, the algorithms, some algorithms I should say, will go in and start buying stocks. Others will sell into the downward trend and are programmed when your favorite stock drops, let's say 10% or more, to then go in and buy additional shares after the sell-off. So the point is, all this volatility is going on in the stock market, and it's not even being caused by human beings. Did you know that there's certain trading patterns that you can exploit on an annual basis around the algorithms? This is not inside information. I'm just telling you how the game works nowadays, since there are less human beings and more software. There are opportunities for you there. Now, let's say you're one of these people who say, Tyrone, I really like you. I enjoy listening to your show, but I just can't take my money away from a mutual fund and put it all in the stock market. I say, smart, smart, smart. Why would you take all of your money from one thing and put it into something where you have no experience at all? If you've been listening to me and you want to put your foot in the water, that is direct investing, take a small percentage of your money and learn how to play the game. After 3 to 6 months, you could always move a little bit more of your funds into your control. What I always say to a lot of people, hey, why don't you try trading the wealthy investor way and then do yourself a favor, leave some of your money with a quote-unquote professional, and then you trade some and you can compare the two after 1 year. So when you're excited to try something new, it's never all of that new thing. You never want to go and put all of your money at risk. That's just not smart. But some, to stick your toe in the water and learn the process. Very smart, very wise. So today, algorithms are doing most of the trading. We can buy and sell stocks commission-free, and technology is actually working in our favor. Why? Because we don't have to go to the newspaper to look up our favorite stock symbol 24 hours after the stock is actually moved. That's exciting. I want to talk to you about up markets. Now, when markets are rising, we all get very excited and we get very emotional. The more you are emotional about your money, the worse decisions you will make. Because when you're excited and euphoric, your emotions drive the bus. On the other hand, when markets are down and you're starting to feel sadness, depression because markets are down, your emotions are driving the bus. One of the things that you're going to have to learn as an active trader and investor in the stock market is how to control your emotions and keep them neutral. Every down market in the history of the market has been followed by an up market. Every up market will ultimately pause temporarily into a down market. That's how it goes. A lot of people freak out because they don't realize this has been going on even when you had your money in mutual funds. You just didn't have a username or password to check your mutual funds on a daily or hourly basis. So a lot of times I wind up talking to you about not getting too emotional, trying to stay in a neutral place, because in up markets or down markets, bull markets or bear markets, there's always money to be made. Money to be made on the bull market is faster for the beginner. When markets drop, there's twice as much money to be made for the experienced trader. Well, if you knew that, why would you keep all of your money in a mutual fund? Why not take advantage of that financial education and learn how to trade and invest on your own? It is very, very profitable as time goes on. Do you have the mindset for success with the understanding that when you first start trading, everything might not go well? Because if you can accept that initial period of learning how to trade as a learning experience, you will be setting yourself up for long-term success. Hey, do I want you to be excited and feel a little uplifted every time you listen to the show? You bet I do, because I'm probably one of the most positive people you will ever meet in your life. I love the future. I think it's bright, and I know that there's tons of opportunities there. But I also know whenever I start something new that it's very rare that I get it right the first time. And that recognition is part of a millionaire's mindset. Think about where you'd like to be as a trader or an investor 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, not where the market is every single day. That's sabotage, right? Because you can't control whether the market goes up or goes down, but you can learn from every pattern and every movement. Hey, listen, if you feel that the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast has helped you, put it in your Facebook page, share it in a tweet. Let people know that there's this financial education out there by listening to the show, and it's absolutely free. In the Wealthy Investor Program, I always say to my students, hey, it's not that I want all of your money. I am here to educate you. But if I help you make money, why don't you help somebody else? So I ask you this, are you willing to pass along something positive? Are you willing to pass along the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast to a friend or someone you love so they can start getting a financial education? I hope the answer is yes. Hey, this is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor. Say I'll see you next week right here on the next Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.